Joining us now, research director at opensecrets.org, Sarah Briner. Sarah, thank you. You would think that with this numbers game, the campaigns understand the impact of their spending. Does it translate into votes? And have we become just accustomed to these nasty ads back and forth?
Money doesn't necessarily translate directly to votes. Ultimately, constituents and voters matter more than dollars, but it is also true that the better funded candidate nearly always is victorious. And that's because raising money, the act of raising money, both shows support and forces the candidate to go interact with people. And so that's why we don't have President Mike Bloomberg right now. He had more money, but ultimately was not able to translate that into election outcomes.
And what are you seeing as far as trends for each of these candidates and how much they've raised and where they're focusing their spending?
Both candidates are focusing on the same places, which would be Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, the same swing states that we've heard about, every day for the last 60 days. But as far as the overall money race is concerned, Harris is absolutely wiping the floor with Trump. And that was not the case in early July, where the race was essentially monetarily neck and neck. But Harris has really amped up the fundraising for the Democrats and currently has, I think, a 3-to-1 advantage in terms of cash on hand, and also raised $100 million in the first half of October. So phenomenal numbers for Harris. Trump has been struggling with donors this cycle, and I'm sure he's hoping to make up some of that disadvantage in the last 2 weeks.
One of the other things, Sarah, you all are tracking, what new trends in donor transparency and dark money are you seeing?
We are not seeing as much dark money this cycle. What's happening instead is that the super PACs, which are actually what run a large portion of the advertisements that we see, are disclosing donors in good faith, but those donors themselves are not transparent entities. They're things like nonprofits, which don't have to disclose donors to the public. So the money is clear, but we don't really know where it's coming from. And I know that is confusing, but it's the way that entities try to obfuscate the true source of money now. So we're seeing that increase and really be almost a majority of the spending by super PACs and other outside spending groups.
One thing that we are seeing is record congressional spending kind of paralleling the presidential race. I think the number I said a moment ago was like $10 billion. What does that indicate about voter priorities?
One thing about that number is that it also is lopsided in favor of the Democrats. And then again, I think that just goes to show that money doesn't always indicate who's going to win, because the polls are much more even than the money battle would suggest. But in the Senate, for the Senate races, the Democrat in every single race, bar two, Texas and Florida, that we would consider even remotely competitive, is completely outraising the Republican. And that is unusual. That is very unusual. So I don't know whether that says anything about what the voters want. That money can come from anywhere in the country, but it certainly says something about the fundraising operations of the parties.
Wow. It's big, big numbers we're talking about. We'll see how it translates here in about 8 days. Sarah Briner, thank you so much for helping us break it down. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.